All right, Joe. So you had a couple of sales calls. What was going on in those?
Yeah, so I think our process is pretty good. Is okay, but definitely can be improved. So both calls yesterday were second calls with roofing companies, one in Florida, one in Minnesota. And on the first call, I did not talk about price.
Okay.
So that's something that we'll have to fix moving forward, or I'll have to change moving forward.
Right.
So that's why the second call, you're like, yeah, there's supposed to be a commitment on the second call. There wasn't, because the second call was talking about price.
Okay.
And going through that.
Okay.
So so we talked about their budget, like what their expectations were, what they had budgeted for next year, what they've been doing in the past, and then I went through like, this is what, a company of your size should be budgeting based on, these stats and these studies and things like that. And both of them were aware of the percentages.
Right.
One was actually kind of right on, and actually the bigger company had a smaller percentage, like 2 or 3%. So
Wow.
that was a little surprising there, but.
It's not surprising.
Well, that's yeah.
But yeah, they should be doing better. And I think a lot of people get complacent. Like they built to a certain stage, they did it off of sweat equity,
Right.
and they made that money. And then now you're telling them, oh, it's going to cost more to get more, and they don't like that idea if they've never done it before. So were these calls strictly about engine? Was that like the thing you were trying to sell?
Yes.
Okay. So with it being a new thing for us, like a new product, it has like everything in it. It's like everything in the kitchen sink. Being able to pitch that without a deck is going to be hard.
Okay.
And one way that you can convince construction workers, these construction companies, to get on their computer and actually watch something with you, be face to face, say, hey, face to face is really important in our industry, right? In construction, we like to do stuff face to face. Well, it's hard to do when we're spread out all over the country. So one of the best things we can do is do face-to-face. We'll do a video call. But what's great about that is I'll be able to show you what we do. Because, well, marketing is a visual medium. So we can show you what is inside what we do, right? And that's one way to get away from just being on a phone call where you're trying to describe something that's very abstract. You're trying to describe this abstract thing and without any visuals. But the visuals allow you to take an abstract concept, because it's still all ideas, and make it feel like it's a real physical thing.
Right.
And for people who are used to dealing in physical objects, like we take physical objects, we put them together, and now they become a new physical object. Like that's construction industry.
Right.
They're used to that. So if you give them something visual, it will feel more concrete. So that's what I think for the sales process, we need to move over to doing something around a deck where we can show them things. And it's like, okay, here's what we did here. Here's what a Facebook ad campaign actually looks like physically.
Okay.
Here's what a website looks like. Here's what's behind the scenes. Especially if they don't have a WordPress site, or if they have one but they've never been in behind it, which is likely.
Right.
Like, hey, here's the guts of this thing. These things are we have all this. We put all these things together, and then that becomes something very powerful to explain the abstract idea of we're going to get you more business by doing marketing, by building your brand.
Right.
Right. So I think you got to go there. Then I think another thing we need to start looking at is the actual procedure to get through the calls. So, first call, is just a discovery call? Do you just ask questions and?
Yes.
Okay.
What's their business look like? Revenue-wise, what are their goals? What have they been doing, marketing-wise? Why they think digital marketing is going to help them? Just getting them to kind of explain like why they want to do what they want to do, or why they think they want to do.
Okay, so I think in the discovery call, what we want to do is get away from the lead gen mentality. There's tons of digital marketing agencies, and if you see anything online, they're always about how to get more leads for your clients, and then those clients will be super happy with you because you got them more leads.
Right.
Well, you've learned that that's not the case.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you get them a ton of leads. It doesn't matter if they get a bunch of business. They still hate your leads, and they still blame you for anything that doesn't make them money. So getting somebody who's going to buy a lead gen system, it's basically, who are you? How much money do you make? How much money are you willing to spend? and what kind of lead level do you want, right? There's not much else to qualify that. But when you go into something more esoteric, more abstract, like the engine, we need to know, what are your problems? Why are we having this call in the first place?
Right.
So somebody says, well, I know you guys do websites for construction companies. So I want a website. Well, why? Why do you want a website? Well, because mine looks like crap. Like, okay, great. We can make you a pretty website. But is that all you want from your website? Do you want it just to be pretty? This isn't flippant. It's not a flippant question.
Some people do.
Yeah, because sometimes that's all. It's like, we don't actually do business with our website, but we do know people come and check us out. So we want a website that represents us.
Yeah, we've done plenty of those for that reason.
Right. So you have to learn, is that why you're talking to me?
Right.
Do you have a good sales process offline?
Right.
And all you want is a website and a digital footprint that supports how to supports you by saying, hey, we're a real company. We're not going to disappear on you. We've got, here's all this stuff about us. We've got a real brand. I think we're a real company. If that's all they want, great. Now the conversation goes to, well, okay, so what are you looking for in that? Right? You don't go into anything else about the engine. Don't talk about it, because otherwise you're going to kill the sale. Right? If they say, this is what I'm after, and you're going to give them the engine anyways, it's kind of like a Grant Cardone's Cardone University, where the way they sell that is, hey, you want follow-up. Your sales guys aren't doing follow-up, so we have this follow-up system, and the follow-up system costs $10,000. But you get all these other things for free.
It's the same product. It's the training.
Same.
Cardone you.
Yeah, you get it all anyways, no matter what the price is. But you don't kill the sale by going, oh, so this is what you're really after, and you only want your brand to have a solid presence, right? That's all you're after. And so you dive in a little deeper, make sure that's truly the case, right? They truly only want that. And so how do you know that? They're not going to tell you, because they don't know, they're not experts. So you have to ask them, well, how's your sales process offline? Are you getting, so you're getting plenty of leads, referrals, things like that coming to you offline. And then you go, well, we're buying them from Home Advisor, we're buying them from Angie's List. Oh, so you don't actually have control of your brand offline. So maybe we need to discuss that. Is that, do you like buying leads from them? And we know the answer. It's going to be no.
Yeah.
But then they may not. But we've also learned that just because somebody doesn't like buying leads from Home Advisor or one of the others, they don't dislike it enough to stop doing it and to take control of their business. So your next step is, if you find out that they don't have a good marketing presence offline, is to find out, oh, so do you want to get control of that? And if they're like, yes, now how serious are they? Right? So this discovery call is going from, here's my superficial desire, why I'm speaking to you, to, okay, what's under the surface of that superficiality? Then what's under that? It's kind of like Toyota's 5 whys. Why do you want a website? Because of this. Well, why do you want that? Because of this other thing. Well, why do you want that? Because of this thing, right? And you go down, 5 whys deep. You have an underlying. You understand their psychology, because now they've told you that what they really want is to stop worrying every winter when business shuts down, whether or not there's going to be business in the spring. Right? That's what they're worried about. You find out that that's the reason. Like, hey, we're in the northern states, so what we do is we set up a shop down in the south and we move. Like, it'd be nice if I didn't have to do that. If I could just stay with my family, have Christmas in Michigan instead of having Christmas in Georgia all the time. Like, I would like to do that. Like, well, then take control of your business, and here's how you do it. So by the qualifying calls have to go away from just being about the numbers, and the superficiality. Because if you're just selling leads, you don't need to know why. Right? You don't care.
Yeah.
And neither does the customer. So, but if you want to solve their problem, you've got to dive into why. Why? Right? You go down those whys, and then now the person's like, man, I get this.
Right.
I understand it now, because you just made them think through why they're having this phone call.
And chances are they've never thought through that.
No.
That problem
No.
before.
They
asked those
went
questions.
They went to the superficial stuff. Right? That's all they did. They did the superficial thing, and that's why they're only asking for the one thing. Right? So then if it's not a website and it's like, hey, I hear you guys do Facebook ads. Well, yes we do. But what are you looking for with a Facebook ad? Well, I'm looking for leads. Like, well, we've discovered that 50% of the leads are crap. Like, they're just not good leads at all. They're not even leads. Like 50% of the traffic that comes through, for some reason, it's just some random person who maybe doesn't even own, they don't own a house.
Yeah.
And yet the ad and everything was all about getting home remodeling.
Right. It happens, yeah.
Yeah, and it happens. So if you're trying to get leads, you will get them. You can get them. But you're going to have a filtering process to go with it. Have you thought about that? Do you have a good filtering process for the phone calls that you get? Do you have something like that? No. Oh, well, okay, let's go a little deeper, right? So you find out, and you may find in the course of, I want Facebook ads to give me leads. Well, why do you want those leads from Facebook? And it could be, I just heard,
mostly.
right? Or, and then they go, so somebody says, so Joe, I heard that you can get good leads off of Facebook. Like, Facebook's a place to get them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so what'd you hear? Oh, it was this, and this. Like, okay, great. But how are you getting leads now? Well, I've been buying them, and a lot of them are crap. It's like, well, you're going to have a lot of them that are going to be crap on Facebook too. Getting cold leads is like gambling. Right? Yeah, you won't know what those cards are until you flip them over.
Yeah.
Right? When you're playing poker, you don't know what your cards are until you flip them up. Those leads coming in, you don't know what they are until you get on the phone with them.
Right.
And then you're like, you don't even have a house. Why are you putting in your information about a home remodel? So knowing that about leads, why are you wanting to do your own leads? Well, the crap part, okay, yeah, we got that. But why would you want to take control of these things? And then you can go into, well, I really want to build a brand, or I really want, they wouldn't call it that, but they would most likely say, I want a solid company. I want people to recognize who we are and be able to choose us over someone else. Mm-hmm. When you're just buying leads, we're no different than anyone else. And the other person who's calling this lead could be just some guy with his pickup truck, doesn't have insurance, doesn't have a license, doesn't have any of these things, and the homeowner doesn't know.
Right.
And the homeowner, all they know is that we're just based on price, and they're going to price shop us. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't like that, right? I want people to want to do business with us. Like, okay, great. Well, that's fantastic to know that that's what you're actually after, because we've gone through this spectrum of helping construction companies go from leads to actually having a company that people raise their hand and say, yes, I want you to do my house.
Right.
I want you to come over and put the roof on my commercial building. I want you to come over and do this thing. I don't want any of those other people. Does that mean that you don't have to talk price? No, obviously you have to talk price. Right? You contacted us, and we're going through finding out what your real needs are, and yet we're still going to have to discuss price, because we build a company. We can help you build your brand. We can help you build your company so people want you. They'll raise their hand for you, not just some lead.
Right.
They're raising their hand because they want you to talk to them. Well, you're going to have to talk price. We're going to have to talk price. right?
Yeah.
And now we're right into the money talk, right? Without it seeming weird,
Yeah, right.
right?
Just the natural progression of the conversation.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to. We can get you somebody who likes your company, who wants to do business with you, but if you're still too expensive for them, they're not gonna buy.
Right.
Right? Same thing with us. If you contacted us, you raised your hand wanting to do business with us. We didn't buy some lead to get you,
Right.
right? To have a cold call with you. No, you contacted us because of our marketing and our brand position, and now we even with that, we still have to have this price discussion. Because if we're too expensive for you, if you don't have the budget to invest into your company, not just invest in our services, but to invest in your company, then okay, it's not a fit, but we can guide you to something that is a fit.
Right.
Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's kind of the response. So then now they're ready to have a money conversation. Well, how much money do you actually spend on your marketing right now? Well, I buy $10,000 a month worth of leads. Like, okay. Now what about anything else? I spend $10,000 a month on leads.
Yeah.
Right? That's all I do. Like, okay. Oh, well, I do some flyers. Oh, I do some door knocking. I do some of these other things. Oh, yeah, and I do a radio spot once in a while. Right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they start telling you all these different things that they've done randomly.
Right.
I paid some dude to do my SEO. I don't know what I'm getting with that.
Yep.
Right? I paid some agency to do some Facebook stuff, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Right? I got some social media expert, and I don't know what they do.
Yep.
Right?
Happens all the time.
Yeah. So then you're like, okay, great. Well, you're trying to do these things, and what's missing is a strategy. You can't go running forward and throwing money at things without a strategy, or you get kind of the mess that you're in, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I understand that completely. And so then the next part of that, so you start finding out, well, what kind of budget is it? And when they say, well, what's your price?
Yeah.
Oh, what are you going to say?
I say, well, we don't know what you need yet. We need to diagnose, all your problems first before we can prescribe like a solution that's going to fit your business and actually move the needle for your business.
Yeah. Okay. But what's your price?
Well, our range for something like this, for a business your size, companies are typically investing between $60,000 and $30,000 for building out that strategy and that foundation.
Oh, okay. Now what's the strategy?
Well, the strategy is where we come in and we do a deep dive on your business, audit everything you've been doing, take a look at your market, your competitors, build out your customer avatars, really dial into exactly the types of customers that you want to grow your business, and we build out a plan with a timeline and suggested budget expectations for a whole 12-month marketing plan on what we're going to do to achieve those, to build your brand in your market.
Okay, so I'm going to pay you $60,000 for a plan.
That's where I struggled yesterday.
Right?
So it's like,
Nobody wants a $60,000 plan, right? Or a $30,000 plan, or a $10 plan.
Right.
Right? At some point, like they'll go, okay, yeah, I'll risk money on a plan.
Right.
Right?
And it's kind of new that we're like kind of selling this,
Right.
so that's why it was a little bit of a struggle yesterday. Like
Right.
I said the words, but I don't know how much conviction I had, or obviously
Right.
I didn't say them 100% perfectly.
Right. Oh, so going forward, the plan is critical, and so you have to get them to understand. Well, is strategy even important? And they've most likely have never done it.
Right. Totally.
Like we just had the other day when we were meeting with the one company, they don't have a marketing plan.
Right.
But they make hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and yet they don't have a plan.
Right.
Right? They are going to have to invest in a plan. There's too much money at stake. There's too many people, like all the salaries and all that stuff that's at stake. So we have to get them to see that you're spending all this money on all these people and all this activity, this random activity, without any direction. And that's why you're unhappy. And so you would ask, are you happy spending money on things that you don't know what they're doing? You don't know what the results are.
Right.
You don't know what the outcomes are. Are you happy with that? Yes or no?
No.
And so, well, but they may not give you a yes or no answer.
Right.
They may start going, well, yeah, but I know I need to be doing something. Well, that doesn't mean you're happy or not,
Right.
right? Do you like spending money without knowing what it does? Right? That's why you're asking me about the strategy, right? Well, strategy, the true deliverable of a strategic plan is that you know what your money's buying you.
Okay.
That's its main deliverable.
Okay.
That's the one result you're truly getting. But here's what else that we do with this program, with Engine. This is the other things that we do with Engine that builds out for construction companies. So phase 1 is we figure it all out. Phase 2 is where we start crafting your brand message for the different platforms, for the different things that we've identified with you, because this is a collaborative process. We're partnering here. We're building a company together. When we identify together the best places for your company to grow its brand, to grow awareness among your customers, after we identify who your best customers are, after we do those things, in phase 2, we start building that out. We build out your brand messaging. We build out all these different things for the specific platforms. Phase 3, we go live with it. We go live with the new website, if that's what's necessary. We go live with your first Facebook campaign. We go live with your first Instagram campaign, if that's necessary. We do these things. We go live with that in phase 3. So when we're selling the strategic plan, it's more than a plan.
Okay.
It's your launch platform. Even though you've been in business for 20 years, we're going to launch your business like it's brand new.
Okay.
Does that sound like it's worth $60,000 to $30,000?
Right.
Or for a bigger company, does that sound like it's worth $300,000 to $150,000? Even bigger company, does that sound like that's worth $500,000 to $200,000? Does that sound like it's worth that? To be able to have those answers, to be able to have this launch platform.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But if they say no, well, thank you.
Right.
Thank you for calling. Right? I'm not going to chase you down.
Right.
I'm not going to beg you for your money. Thank you for calling. Is there anything else that I can help you with? Okay? Because you're going through your sales process. Right. You might have stumbled and missed something. Mm-hmm. And you just educated the person on something completely different, right? That they've never even heard of, right? You just blew their mind with this. Right. There's this whole other world other than this. Well, now I'm like, right? Mm-hmm. So if they're not comfortable with going forward to the next stage of the sales process, because you're just not going to take $60,000 or $300,000 off of somebody without going to another stage, mm-hmm. right? All we want is to find out, are you capable of investing in it? Right. And not just capable, but willing to invest in it. And then after that, it's like, great, now here's the next step. But if they let you know that, no, I don't like that idea. Okay? Thank you for your time. I wish you luck. Is there anything that I missed? Mm-hmm. Anything that came up during this conversation that you're like, okay, I'm not too keen on this strategic planning thing. I'm not too keen on you building out this engine for me, mm-hmm. but I still have this problem. Is there anything like that? And shut up. Just go quiet. Is there anything like that? And then in that nervous quietness, right. Human beings blurt stuff out. and so one of the things you'll have to practice is shutting up when you ask a question. Just shut up and stay shut up until they answer. That one's tricky, especially for me. I love to talk. Yeah. Right? I love talking. So for me, it's like, I'm on the other side, just like, I want to say something, but I gotta stay quiet, right. Or they're not gonna tell me what I need to know. Right. So you ask that question, and then see, you're starting to smile, right? Yeah. You're like, okay, it's awkward. It gets awkward. So that is power. That is one of the most powerful strategies you have available to getting the answers you need when you're on a sales call, is to shut up. right? So you'll see some stuff about selling that'll say, listen to what they say. Yeah, listen, they'll tell you, but they won't tell you the real stuff until you shut up. Go quiet. And then they get uncomfortable. And people go, ah, and then it just blurts out. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
Here's my problem. Fix it for me, right? And then like I got this other thing, right? And then it comes out of them. And now you can have a real discussion. Oh, well, we thought we were talking about this one thing, and I clearly missed this. I apologize for missing this, right? I'm sorry that I missed this part that you really care about. Do you have a moment? And because I know we've been on this call for 35 minutes. Do you have a moment to discuss that? So we haven't lost the sale yet.
Right.
We lost the sale, but we haven't lost the sale, right? Because now we've got a second opportunity to help them. And then in that second opportunity, if there isn't one of those things, no, I don't think so. Is there anybody you can refer me to? Well, there are some people that I know. And I'll be more than happy to refer you to somebody who will make you an inexpensive website, right? I know some people. I'll set you up. Does that sound good? Okay, thanks. All right, great. I'll send you out an email with some other stuff, and I'll send your information over to a friend of mine, and hopefully it'll go well for you over there. All right, great call. Thanks. Bye. All right. No begging.
Right.
If you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to walk away from a lead and just say, yeah, we're not right for you. If you're not willing to do that, then you're going to struggle always in sales, always, because you have a bigger need than they do.
Totally.
Right?
And that becomes transparent.
Big time. Because you're like, okay, you didn't want that thing. Well, how about you buy this other thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when I switched over from you don't want the one thing, it's out of your budget, I just asked, are there any other needs? Right? You did mention these other things. Are these other needs? Right? It's like, oh, there is. Oh, then maybe now I can give them a down sell. Maybe I can sell them something that is still within our wheelhouse, still within the things that matter to our company, the stuff that we know will actually work for them, yet get them to just enter our ecosystem.
Right.
It's like, okay, we're not going to make much money, but let's just move on, right? And maybe we get them. Maybe it's like, okay, this is interesting, like it. I'm confused. I need more information. Great. Let's set up a second call. Is there anybody else who needs to be on this call? Right? That needs to be able to hear this information, to be able to make an informed decision, to be able to move forward. Right? Let's get that person on that schedule too. That sound good? And then that's call one.